How's it going, crypto community? This is Jade, the XRP Martian, back with another video for you. In this one, I'm not going to be doing news. Instead, we're going to be talking about price. And some of you may have already seen my tweet over here on Twitter. If you haven't, by all means, come check out the actual tweet if you want to read through this stuff for yourself that I compiled here, right? So what I shared was this tweet saying, to my fellow XRP Martians, all y'all out there, and fellow hopium addicts, by Joel Katz's logic and the current value of the ledger, 589 is not overpriced, and in fact, I say here, as I do believe that would just be a fair value for XRP, and that is assuming that XRP becomes the standard in remittances, in global remittances, right? So what I did is I have the screen cap here that has been going around Twitter from Joel Katz, where I underline the very critical part of what he's sharing as far as the potential for the future of price, right? So in this, the one that's really important to keep in mind is, what if Ripple captures the value of all high friction international payments that are now occurring? Now, high friction means that it's in regions where they have either low liquidity or a poor currency that does not hold its value or is not stable. Therefore, banks cannot afford to risk holding that currency, therefore engaging in remittances with them. So very few institutions do such for them. So they become high friction international payment corridors, right? And if Ripple managed to successfully capture that for the XRP network, then XRP could hit $20. Now, what's important to keep in mind is that Joel Katz himself says you can add a multiplier to this $20 for the additional demand from people holding XRP to make or facilitate their payments in the future, right? And then he goes on to say that if Ripple captures all international volume, that maybe the price would be about 120. And that same point as above, people holding XRP will add a multiplier onto it. So I decide, okay, what if the institutions at large decided that they were going to go 100% live today? Right? They're going to flip that switch that everybody's talking about. Well, if they flip the switch today, there is currently only 19%. I'm not going to read through this whole thing for you, but there's only 19% of the current supply of XRP at the disposal of financial institutions and exchanges. So, and a large portion of that too is likely held by Ripple employees as well. It's not just the financial partners and exchanges. There's probably at least a few people in the last category here that is at the bottom of this, and I'll see if I can zoom. I'll pull up the original image. Apparently, you can't see the original image, so I'll pull up my original here, and we will zoom in here, and everybody can see up here that there are 991 accounts, XRP Ledger accounts, that hold between 1 to 5 million XRP. And of those 900, essentially 1,000 accounts, there is 1.9 billion XRP, meaning that of those 991, the average holder in that range holds less than 2 million XRP. So it's most of those people are at the 1 million end of that spectrum. Now, and so that's the population that I personally believe is most likely to be employees, not exchanges. I believe that most exchanges are probably in the higher figures. They probably have between 5 to decabillions, right? Or millions, rather. So, and then you see also in this up close that 8 of the wallets are contain 18 of the wallets technically contain 1/4 of all XRP. And those 18 wallets consist of the founders and Ripple Labs. And I believe that SBI is also one of those, would be one of those, because I know that they are a massive holder. But they might be one of the 45 listed below. At any rate, the point being is that at present, only 19%, essentially 1/5 of all XRP is held by financial institutions. So that means that the inverse of such, that 4/5 of all XRP is not in their possession, that is being held, which means that you can apply a 5 times multiplier to the value of to JoelCat's projected value to arrive at the value of XRP should all international remittance values be directed through the XRP network, which means that you take his $120 projection and multiply it by 5, and suddenly you're at $600. Now, I am making this video actually not just to share this with you, because I've already shared this on Twitter, and I've incurred rebuttal from individuals who I highly respect. DM Logic being one of them, because I think he likes to play devil's advocate and be the skeptic, because in his own words, he would rather be surprised than disappointed with whatever his expectation is, right? Now, personally, I personally would rather be patient and neither surprised nor disappointed, because I'm willing to be patient instead of either of these two emotional things. I don't believe in investing in emotions, and that's how I play this game. This is why I break down numbers for you. I go for the most factual things that I possibly can pick out in a space. That's why I was hoping that the code that we were looking at from guest 1 was right. Unfortunately, that was not. But I'm back to doing my own research. We're not relying on other people anymore. I'm providing you my insights based upon my work and my evidence that I can dig up for you. So, where does XRP go if we get the entire global remittances included? We go to $600. Now, here is DM's counter argument. DM's counter argument is, yes, but you're not accounting for the sell pressure that will come should volume come into this. Very good point, DM. So let's look at the sell pressure that you or I, as retail investors, could perpetrate on the network, shall we? So first off, we have to ignore the 24.5 billion XRP, the 1/4 of supply that is being held by Ripple and the founders. Why? Because they are not going to shed a considerable amount of their holdings during the run-up. Why would they do that? Not only are they going to damage their individual and Ripple as an entity's net worth by doing such when they have a very clear roadmap ahead of them, which would mean that they know what they're holding as far as the future value, and corporations always in every single example ever throughout history will prioritize their future profits over present. This is how you gain money. This is how a business stays profitable. They stay profitable by prioritizing their profits over their personal gains, because profits are more important to investors. Profits are more important to individuals who want to become involved with your company. If you are not profitable, you are not going to get partners. You are not going to acquire additional interest. Because if you can't be profitable, how are you going to be profitable for anybody else? Understood? Good. So 1/4 of XRP off the table. Now, let's assume that, again, this happens overnight. This is not happening over the course of 5 years. It's happening overnight. Now, that means that Ripple has access to only 1 billion of the 51 billion almost 52 billion XRP that's in escrow right now. That means that we can add 1% extra to the financial institutions this month. Well, that 1 billion adds in. Now they are up to truly 2 billion XRP, because they don't even technically have 20 billion XRP right now. I just use the 20% figure for the easy 1/5, right? But we're going to bring that up to 20. And because you can make the argument that even though the founders and Ripple are not going to dump their bags, that they would de-risk to a degree, and we'll be generous in this and say that they are collectively going to de-risk 10% of their position on this run-up. 10% of their position would result in 2.4 billion XRP, which brings our total available to the financial institutions up to 2.24 or even 22.6 billion XRP. Well, that's still not quite enough XRP to say that we only have a 4x multiplier. So let's say that of all the XRP that you, me, and everybody else holds, which equates to about 5 billion XRP, we're going to say that we're going to sell half. We're all going to dump half of our bags collectively. All of us just going to dump half. Well, now the financial institutions have access to a cool 25 billion XRP. They now have access to 1/4 of the supply. Now, assuming that people are going to sell half of their XRP, that's a pretty, especially of the individuals who are in the larger bag positions, such as myself. Just for transparency, I will not ever sell 50% of my XRP. I will die before 50% is out of my bags. And if you understand what Ripple is doing, if you understand what XRP is, you're in the same boat as me, because you're not thinking emotionally. You're thinking with long-term profitability in mind. You're thinking, how do I better my life? You're not thinking, oh, I'm here to get rich quick. No, I've been here for 2 years. I'm not here to get rich quick. Getting rich quick would have happened a year ago if that was going to happen for me. It didn't happen, so I'm here for the long haul. As most people listening to this right now are, as most people who are invested in XRP right now are. We are long-term holders, so we are not going to de-risk 50% just as this very first moon comes. We're going to de-risk more likely what the founders are going to be de-risking. We'll probably do a little bit more because we don't have as much XRP, and we'll still want to see a nice profit. So most of us are probably going to de-risk about 20%. I digress. Irrelevant, right? I'm not even going to play the realistic card. We're going to play no, we're all a bunch of idiots who are going to sell half our bag as soon as XRP starts to move. Because that's the only way that we can get this figure up to moving from a 5x multiplier to only a 4x multiplier. We have to sell half of our collective holdings as an XRP community. Half. Okay, well, now the financial institutions have a quarter or 1/4 of the supply, and XRP, instead of going to $600, it only goes to $480. Only $480. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait, no, we're still in the middle, the mid hundreds, right? So I gave half of all of our XRP back, and we still can't get the financial institutions to have enough liquidity for us to push the price, or to bring the price, keep the price below something that most people in the XRP community want to call hopium, hope, fake, whatever it is, whatever the nonsense is that people want to insert, that, oh, it can't do this, it can't achieve this. No, it can achieve these things because you are not thinking of XRP as a currency. You are thinking of XRP as a security. You are not thinking of XRP as the thing that buys stocks. You are thinking of it as the stock, and therefore you are wrong. You are wrong in your interpretation of what you are holding, and therefore wrong in your understanding of the potential inherent value of that thing, that XRP. And just to drive this point home, let's say that we all sell, all of us, all 128,000 of, well, we'll say all 1.7 million people, aside from the financial institutions, all sell their XRP. Guess what? It's still a 2x multiplier. It's still up to $240. All of us sold $240, and guess what? And that's the situation where there's no such thing as a retail bull run on this. That is a situation where nobody in the world talks about XRP skyrocketing hundreds, if not, thousands, if not tens of thousands of percent. That's that world where everybody ignores it. They're like, oh, this thing skyrocketed like that. Who cares? Whatever. I'm not putting money in it. It's not going anywhere. No, that is not how people are going to react when they hear about this thing blowing up. And in fact, that's not even realistic, right? Again, we are in a bear market, ladies and gentlemen, a bear market, and this is the current distribution in a market where there is little to no hope. That individuals like myself who encourage hope in investors are told that we're full of hopium. This is why I've reclaimed the term hopium, because I can't wait to push it in a lot of people's face when the bull run comes. Because I cannot wait to point out to people, well, that's because you were trying to use multipliers based upon bearish scenarios and not upon the bullish scenario that will come with institutional adoption. People in this space have become, what's the term I'm looking for? Indoctrinated or brainwashed. That one's a bit rude, but comfortable. People have become comfortable with the idea of what a bear market feels like. Most of you don't even know what a bull market feels like. Some of you experienced the bull market of 2016, 2017, and you've already forgotten. You forgot what a 2-year bull market feels like because you've been in a 2-year bear market. Now, I haven't. And I only participated in the bull market for the last 7 months. I know what that feels like, and I know what that does to your mind. I know what that, and you know what the last thing on my mind was during the bull market? Selling. I wasn't thinking about selling my XRP or my Bitcoin back then. I wasn't thinking about selling. I was thinking about buying. I was thinking about buying all the way up to 20,000. I was still buying at 16,000. I bought Bitcoin, right? Me. But Bitcoin. I consider myself a very intelligent individual, somebody who's very logical. But I was illogical in that moment because of the market, because of how the market was behaving, and because I couldn't trust my own emotion. I couldn't trust that my rationality was correct in the way the market was behaving irrationally, and so I could only assume as a rational mind that I was being irrational in that scenario, and therefore FOMO. That is bullish sentiment, and that is why anybody who thinks that there's going to be more sell volume than buy volume in a bull run, well, you just don't understand. You don't even look at previous market cycles, right? So now I'm going to go over and I'm going to go to TradingView, right? We're going to go to TradingView on Bitstamp because relatively older exchange for this space, and you're not even going to see most of the 2017 buy volume in this, so people can't be like, well, you're just using the most popular exchange during the 2017 bull run. No, ladies and gentlemen, I don't play games, and I know how these games are played with people. So the bull run for XRP really began back in the, what was it, March, right? Was it March or April? April is when XRP started to run up. And you can see this on the RSI. That's when the buy volume came in. And that's when the price started to go up. Now, these are your volumes. Do you see more? Now, here, I'm gonna move the chart here so that you can't see the bear market. Now, during this whole virtually year, what do you see more of on your screen? Green or red candles? Is there more buy or is there more sell volume during a bull run? Now, I know that I'm being very condescending in my tone right now, but I'm very frustrated that such intelligent people would actually postulate such an absurd argument to me when there is evidence upon evidence upon evidence upon evidence that I could literally go on for, I'm up to 20 minutes now, and I could probably go for 20 hours about all the evidence of why this narrative that the space has been embodying for so long is just intellectually dishonest. It is dishonest with yourself. Anybody who is convincing themselves of this, you are convincing yourself of a lie because you would rather be pleasantly surprised than hopeful. And if that's your choice, by all means, but understand that if you are embodying that mentality, when this market flips around, you are going to sell out early. And you are going to sell out so early that the last year and a half to 2 years of however long you've been in this market, you're going to hate yourself for it. Because you are going to say, I waited all that time and I sold that early when I could have had that. When I could have had that amount. Whatever that amount ends up being. Whatever your early sellout price was. Whatever that is, you're going to be upset with yourself. And more importantly, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I've been thinking, is it more wrong of me to come out here on YouTube to you, my viewer, and say, guys, don't get too excited about the price going up. You know, what happens will happen. You know, I'm taking it as a grain of salt. And therefore putting all of you in a state where you're not expecting anything real. But I'm protecting you. I'm protecting you from disappointment by doing so. Or should I come out and do what I'm doing right now and say, I'm sorry, but when this bull run comes, you're going to be wealthy. And you're going to be wealthy beyond imagination, beyond what you view as possible for you. And put a little bit of hope in your heart, right? Is it more wrong of me to do that? Telling you beforehand, listen, this could take a year or two for it to happen, but it's going to happen, right? It's going to. I spent 2 months on this channel, almost every single day, putting out multiple videos every single day on different topics, on different groups who are becoming involved with this ecosystem. Nearly 200 videos showing evidence for what I'm going to start just doing with my videos now, where I'm talking to you like a normal human being, and very soon you're going to see me living a very different lifestyle than I do now, because I'm not going to have this tarp behind me. You're going to be seeing me out in public because I'm going to be living on the street very soon, living out of my car very soon, so that I can save even more money to put in this. Because I've realized something. If you're not going to buy the dip, I'm going to buy that dip. And I'm going to take advantage of that dip until there's not a dip. And I'm going to take maximum advantage of it in the coming months. Maximum advantage of it. Because I realize what I'm holding. I know what I'm holding. But I am not your financial advisor. I'm my own financial advisor. And so I have to be very cautious what I advocate to you, my viewer. But let's be very clear. I'm not afraid of what I hold. I may have a hedge in Bitcoin. I may have a few other altcoins that I have very small positions in. But when it comes to XRP, I know what I'm holding. I'm holding my golden ticket to a lifestyle that I only dreamed would be a dream in my youth. That I would never find this kind of opportunity in my life. And to be clear, that's really why I made this channel, to make it clear to everybody who watches my content, the opportunity being presented before all of us as XRP investors. So I hope that I've contained at least enough information in this to show that there is no argument for why XRP is not going to enter the mid 6-figure or the mid 3-figure range, between somewhere near $500. There's no mathematical way for you to argue against it. It's just not possible. You're either going to start arguing with Joel Katz, thinking you're more intelligent than the person who literally invented blockchain technologies when he patented his Merkle tree concept that is now in use with XRP. You're either going to assume that you know better about this ecosystem than the inventor of it, or you're going bearish. You're being short-sighted. And there's a reason why why the positions are called shorts and longs, right? Why is a bull long in a bear market? Because they see the big picture. They're looking far down that road. Why is a bear short? Because they're only paying attention to the daily price action. And when that price action changes, they get wrecked. Oh my goodness, did they get wrecked. When XRP and Bitcoin and everything went through the roof, Those people who thought that it was going down to 1,200, you know, they didn't lose money. No, they didn't get pushed out of their position. No. They're just watching. Anyways, I'm very concerned for many people out there, because I know that there are many of you who have held this asset for quite a long time, and I know that the market is down right now. I get it. We're not, you know, we aren't in the 40-cent range anymore, and we're back down to 30. Oh my gosh, so terrible. But that's the thing. Look at yourself. Look at this community. This community is so defeated, it's disgusting. It's like this community is a bunch of Tesla investors in 2011 or 12. You know, Tesla went public in 2013, I think it was, right? So no, I think it was 12. At any rate, you're an early Tesla investor, and you're upset that Ford is out there criticizing you and saying that you're not going to be anything. Oh, Ford must be right. Our competition must know what they're talking about. Does it sink in? That sink in? It's very frustrating for me, because I want to be able to just come out and say, hey guys, wage your house against this thing. But I'm not going to do that, because that would be very inappropriate of me. And it would not be wise for anybody to do that. I encourage people to invest intelligently into this market, only putting in what you can afford to lose, never more. But let's be clear. What I personally see myself being able to afford to lose is literally everything but my cell phone activated, so I can go around and show you guys exactly what I'm going to be doing until this market hits cap here soon. Because the way I'm seeing it now, every single dollar I can put into this based upon the news and the developments that we've witnessed, every dollar I'm putting in is going to be $1,000 someday. Maybe 10. Maybe 30. $30,000. Every dollar I put in today. $30,000 when I'm 40 years old. Are you going to miss that opportunity? Because I sure ain't. I'm not afraid to scrape by for a few years so that I can live higher on the hog than any man or woman I've ever known in my life. Are you kidding? Do you not understand what once in 3 lifetime means as far as an opportunity being presented to you? This is not something you will ever get the chance at again. Ever. Ever. Not in your life, not in your child's life, not in your child's child's life will this kind of an opportunity ever be presented before you again. That's how serious this is. If you don't take advantage of it, good luck getting rich by some other means that will absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, be far harder to become wealthy off of, will require a far greater risk upon your behalf, and far greater confidence upon your behalf in order to achieve the kind of success you can achieve as an investor in this space right now. As somebody investing in this dead bear market. Full of gems, too. Because it's not just XRP, as many of you know. I like to promote out other coins that definitely have a very real use case. IOTA, EOS, VET. All of these chains are going to do fantastic in the future. Link, another one, right? Brand new one right out the gate. Link's going to have a golden future because of Google. And I think whoever else they're partnered with, I can't remember anybody else off the top of my head. Point being, if you're not hungry right now, when everybody is afraid, if you are not greedy right now while everybody else is fearful, you're going to be just like everybody else. You're going to be greedy while they're all greedy. And the people who understand the importance of being a contrarian in markets, we're going to be laughing at you because you're going to be buying at the top. Like I did in 2017. You're going to be buying at the top next time around because you think, oh, well, they were right, so it's just going to keep going. Well, it might, but you already lost all the potential gains because you aren't getting in before the price moves. You're waiting for it to move. That's not a way to get wealthy. That's not a way to make money in a market. That's a way to get wrecked. That's how everybody gets wrecked. Why do you think that so many people who came in back in May have rage quit and left the community? If they got in back here at 30 cents or 28 cents, you know, where are we? Let's get over here. And I'm going to end the video on this, right? Just to drive the point home. Most people did not buy XRP the people who have come in the last 3 months, you know, in Q2. They didn't buy XRP in April and May when the price was down in the 36 to 31 cent range, 27 cent range even. No, they bought when it spiked because they were convinced it was going up. Why do you think they dumped out? Why do you think they rage in our comments? Why do you think they call us all scammers and saying that we're shills and doing this, that, and the other? Because they don't understand the basics of economics. They don't understand the basics of trading. They don't understand the basics of investment. You can either be one of them, an idiot who throws his money away, is an impatient and loses it because you want to keep moving your funds around between promising projects that have a good 1-2 month return on them. Or you can invest in real projects that are building real world use cases that are going to have a very strong future for decades and centuries to come. Not just promises of, oh, we're going to do really good this year. Oh, we're going to do really good this week. Oh, we've got a great announcement coming this week. Yeah, cool. SBI virtual currency is going live on the 31st. Prove it. When they go live, cool. I'll be happy. But until then, I'm not worried. And in fact, I really hope they delay. I really want them to delay so that I can go out and be homeless and so that I can farm up some real good money so that I can quadruple my stack. Because why would I not when I know what I'm holding? Why would you not? Do you know what you're holding? Apparently not if you're not willing to go to the same expenses you're going to be watching me do over the next few months. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, you've been watching The Martian Report. If you're new, hit that subscribe, ring that bell, and please, if you enjoyed my tangent here, please hit that like as well. I can't wait to see all of you in my next video. As always, on Mars.